All right, welcome back. I'm going to be completely honest and say that I've hit a bit of a roadblock or a stalemate, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it's this thing where we're trying to get the some sort of campaign approved on Twilio, and Twilio is what we're using to send text messages to users to verify their phone number so that they can sign in, because the only sign-in method right now is using your phone number. And that's how I want it. But that has left me in a spot where it's like, I try to get it, you have to, to be able to do that in the US, I guess, it seems like you have to get some sort of whatever they call that, an A2P or something campaign. You have to register for that on Twilio. And it doesn't really, or I seem not to be able to get that approved. And every time I send it in, it takes maybe 5 minutes to do. And then I send in another appeal or another attempt at getting my campaign approved. I tweak it a little bit and hope that it's going to get approved again. But the thing is that the approval process takes 2-3 days, and it says it can even take longer than that. So sometimes it's taken me 4 or 5 days. But on the website, it actually says that it can take up to 2 to 3 weeks to get that approved. So then I end up in this spot where it's okay, what do I do for the videos? I don't know if I should, because what I could do obviously is I could start adding more features to the app and continue building it. But what I'm also thinking in my head is that, well, if I do that, then I might also be introducing new bugs that are then going to get flagged in the app approval process. So right now, it seems like there aren't that many bugs that are being flagged, and I've dealt with some of them from the app review. So then it's should I risk adding more bugs and further extending this approval process, or should I just wait and get this approved and then try to deal with everything that we have in front of us instead of adding new issues to this build, if that makes sense. And that's left me in I would say, call it a stalemate or something, where it's or I don't know, catch-22 stalemate, whatever you want to call that, where I don't really know how to approach it, and I end up now not having the routine that I really like, which is getting up in the morning, starting work at 9, and then working until about 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. with the app and with the videos that I'm making. And I think it's been a week today since I last filmed anything, which is not good for me personally. It's not good. I don't really care about the channel in that sense, or the videos, or all of that stuff. It's just when I am very consistent with that stuff, it's very good for me on a personal level. I feel good. I have a lot of energy. I build up momentum and get things done. And now the stalemate in my work, which is this Twilio thing, that stalemate sort of infiltrates the rest of my life as well, which is very typical for me. If I end up in a place at work where I don't know what to do or where to move, or I don't know how to start or stop or where to begin, then it definitely like leaks into other areas of my life. Like I don't do as well with my like bedtime routines. I go to bed a bit later. I wake up a little bit later. Like all those sort of things. It kind of it affects everything. I feel like I don't know if there's a. I think there's a thing I've heard, which is like how you do anything is how you do everything. And I don't know if that's a saying or if I just made that up, or if I'm taking credit for someone else's brilliant idea. But I think there's some truth in that. That I try to protect the way that I handle things, so that, or because of the fact that I feel like how I do anything is how I do everything. So if I am a bit lax or like unorganized, undisciplined about my work, then that will flow into other areas as well. So whether that is with my eating, with my like cleaning the apartment, everything really. And so that's something that I've learned very deeply in the past year, mostly from actually getting into this particular routine of this app, which is where I've I don't know, developed a really good habit of like, I get up in the morning and I have my breakfast, and then as soon as the clock hits 9 a.m., I sit down and I get to work with the app or get to work in general. It might be that I'll have to do other things before I start filming, but I get to work at 9. And it's like the consistency of that and the non-ambiguity of it, where it's like it's not about what I do, it's about when I do it and for how long. And that's something that I can highly recommend to anyone doing anything in your life. Stop setting goals of getting something done and start setting goals of spending a certain amount of time doing something. Because if you set the goal of like, I have to be done with this feature today, then you're basically setting yourself up for failure, because if there are like a million things that can get in the way of you being able to complete that feature, even if you even if you're like hyper productive only working on that feature for like 16 hours straight, you might still not be able to get it done because of outside circumstances. And that to me has led to, in the past, a feedback loop that's been very negative, where it's like I think you subconsciously build up this resistance to the work that you do, because you subconsciously associate it with 16-hour days of not really getting anywhere. Whereas when you instead set the goal of like, I'm supposed to do 4 hours today, that's what I'm supposed to do. Doesn't matter what I get done, I'm just supposed to sit here and try to get something done for 4 hours. And because when you have that goal, it's like you can sit and get nothing done for 4 hours. But if you're sitting there trying to get something done for 4 hours, not doing anything else at least, then you achieved what you wanted and you have control over that. You're not obviously in full control over it. Some things can happen. You can get sick. There can be an emergency. You might have to take a phone call from your parents. All kinds of things can affect it, but it's at least, I feel like it's way more clear and way easier to do it like that. And it's helped me a lot with my life, because I tend to, I think, what's the saying? Like, you overestimate what you can do in a week and you underestimate what you can do in a year, something like that. And I'm trying really hard to build the habit of not trying to get done today, but just trying to do something today. And stringing together as many days as possible of doing something, because I know that at the end that will compound, and it's better to do something than to do nothing. And I've talked about this in the past in previous videos. And that's what I've sort of lost a little bit now that I get into this area of the app where it's like, it's not really up to me to do anything right now. Like the whole process is just about waiting for Twilio to approve things or waiting for Apple to review my app, and all of that stuff is just it's a lot of waiting for other people. Like, I think when you're working in software, I think there's a category of things that are called like blockers, where it's like, I can't get anything done here until you do your thing. So you're like blocked by this person. And that's where I feel like I'm at. But I also know that if I dig deep and actually am honest and truthful with myself, I know that I'm, what do you call it, giving myself an out. That's not what I would say that it is, but like I'm letting myself off the hook a little bit, because if you really think about it, there are things that we could do. And so that's why I'm back today and thinking that I don't know if the campaign has been approved at this point, but whether it has or hasn't been, we're going to figure something out to do. I don't know what that's going to be, but I know for my own life in general, I need to do something. So I can't just continue waiting for these things to be approved and not doing anything productive in the meantime. So yeah, long story long, but that's where I'm at. And I feel like I want to share all this stuff with you too, so that, because that is one of the goals with this whole series, is to document everything as deeply authentically as I can. And right now that's where I'm at. I don't really have any excuse for not having worked in the past like 5 days or whatever it's been. And so now I'm just going to try to work, even though I don't really know what that will look like. Okay. So we're going to check and see. I don't know, I'm going to share this because it's like can't really be bothered right now to not share it, but okay, it failed. So I don't really know how to figure this out, because it's like I'm sort of starting to question whether it can even be approved. This campaign was rejected because of no registration requirements. TCR. Okay. I don't really understand it, but we're gonna try the support and see if that actually does anything. Support. I need to talk to a human. So these AI support things are just so shit in my opinion. I've never encountered one that actually can solve my problems. So it's like, it's just this, what do you call it? Like a, it's a staller, essentially. It just stalls. So you're like, okay, well, I know I'm gonna have to talk to a real person because you cannot help me with this. And then it's like, oh, well, here's how you can do it, and here's how you can do it, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, okay, I've tried that, and it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, then you can try this and try this. And it's like, it keeps going, and then you get to a certain point where it's like, okay, none of this works. Now connect me with a person, please. And then you get connected with a person, and they solve it like that. And it's just like, oh. But I mean, I have a paid plan. All right. I guess we just have to wait for this to be approved. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna check its status. Okay. There is something that I do think that we can add that hopefully won't be a problem. Right now, when you match with, let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, send code. Okay. So now, one of the things that happens is that when you press like, it says liked. We don't really need that snack bar to show up. Same here. And now when it's a match, it's just a snack bar that shows up. But really, if you have a dating app, what usually will happen is there will be like oh, this is a match. So we want to have that animation show up instead, or that like screen show up. So let's do that. By basically just telling Claude to do it. Okay. All right. I mean, I love this. I really love doing this and it makes me quite happy when working with these AI models. I love to not explain things well and then just hope that it's going to do a good job. Or it's like, you know, when you're a kid and you bought like Kinder Surprise and you're like so excited to open it up and see what the toy was that you were going to get, and you never got the toy that you wanted. This is very similar to that, but you tend to get a pretty good toy every time. Like, I'm typically more like positively surprised by how well Claude, at least, performs at this stuff, because compared to something like ChatGPT or something like that. But now what I'm doing is I'm saying that also, if there's a match, we show another snack bar that says it's a match. Remove that snack bar too and replace it. Here's the description of this, what I wanted to do. Replace it with a full screen pop-up with some industry standard and aesthetic way to show the users that they have matched. I mean, this is the description. I have no idea what this is going to produce, and I could go in more detail and like explain exactly what I want, but I think the way that I typically work with this stuff is also that I'm not a designer, I'm not a UI expert or UX expert for that matter. And I mean, I've done some stupidly bad designs in my past. I've done some pretty good ones on my other YouTube channel too that I'm still kind of happy about, but like some of the first apps that I designed, they look like, I don't know, a website from like the early 2000s where people are like, oh, lots of color is good, and dark tones like black and green is a great idea to combine. It looks so bad. I wish I could I don't know if I have any pictures of it. Actually, we have time. I can just go see if I can find it. Actually, let's send this message first so that Claude can get to work, and then we can, I can scroll and try to find a picture. But yeah, I like to send this, get Claude to do something, and then if I feel like, oh, that's not really what I want, then I can like tweak it afterwards. But usually Claude will actually make something that's better than what I probably would have come up with. And that's not to downplay my own skills when it comes to this stuff. It's just that Claude will think differently than I will and will come up with something that's different. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's send it. And try to find a picture. Okay, so it took me a while to find that, but actually um, let me airdrop this to my computer, and then we can look at it on the computer. Okay. So this is legitimately like, this is what the design was that I came up with for my workout tracking app. And that was me completely doing everything on my own. I was like, oh, green and like this grayish look is really, that would look really cool. So I wanted it to look sort of like Excel, but I wanted something that was kind of different. So this is what it looks like. Like this is literally, this is what the workout page looked like, where you just track your workouts. I mean, there's text here, but then for the rest of the sets for bench press, there's just a blank space here. And also the green and it looks really bad. And this was the calendar, or like the log. You just had a list of entries. And for some reason, they don't go all the way out to the end, but they stop here. Which, it's just like looking back at this, I'm like, this looks so bad. I have no idea how I thought that this was a good idea. This was a chart, but the chart was basically just something that Flutter had that you could use, so I didn't have much options for like how to change the look of this from what I remember, but yeah, this is what that looked like. Bicep size, like you could track your size of your arms and all that sort of stuff. You could change to the color, I guess, to red instead of green if you wanted that. And then you had your weeks of like progress or days of progress. And then I had these are like options if you wanted to. Do I want to see my workout stats? And you could press this, and this was like a button. And then if you want to see your body stats, you could press this, and that was a button. So this is where I came from. This is like the first app that I built, like proper app that I didn't use a tutorial for, because the tutorial apps typically look pretty good because they have, I don't know, they have some experience with it, but this is what I came up with when I made my own design for an app, and I thought it looked good at the time, which has now sort of given me some doubts about my own opinions when it comes to these things. Like, I don't really trust that it looks good if I feel like it looks good, if that makes sense. Because I thought this looked good. I don't think I thought it looked amazing, but I think I thought it looked like good enough. And I was quite happy with it. Now I wouldn't even have, like maybe as a mock-up to just like see, okay, this is kind of what it could look like. I would be happy with this, but for an app that you're actually going to use, it's just not, yeah, not good. So anyway, that is how I typically would have designed things back in the day. But now we're going to see what Claude came up with if these two users like each other and they end up matching. What happens? So I'm going to send a like. There's no snack bar now. That's good. I'm going to send a like there too. And oh, that's way better than I thought it would be. But why? Yeah, okay, so obviously it didn't show up here. I just realized that. Man, that's actually like so good, this whole, the color, the hearts that kind of flew up, it's just, I don't know, it was good. I like it. Nice, let's give it some feedback even though it doesn't care. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we press like, and then we press like. It's a match. I mean, that animation, I don't even know how it came up with that, but this is, like, I know what I had in mind, because I did have a design in mind. This is like 100 times better than the design that I had in mind. So, and this all came from that one little line that I sent to Claude. It's like, yeah, I don't know, it just makes things infinitely easier, because I don't really have to be a UX or UI expert to come up with this. And to me, it feels like this, I couldn't imagine this being better. I feel like maybe I'm overselling this a little bit. Yeah, maybe I could make this myself, but like, for me personally, I don't have any improvements to this. Like, I don't know anything that I would change about it. Actually, maybe one thing. So I tried, yeah, so I changed it so that the heart between the two is actually the Quora logo instead, which I think makes sense. Let's actually do. I just want to double check that the animation, or that the thing looks the way that it should on the iPad. I feel like maybe I ran the app too quickly, so that was why they ended up like very separate on the screen. All right, let's see what it looks like now, if it's correct or not. No. Okay. So let's add this. It's actually git status. Um, Okay, so this is going to be the final attempt at this, or hopefully. They match in a call and then like, it's a match and the thing looks good, I think. Good job. Now they are matched. So now what I'm thinking is that we have created a match screen. So let's do git. All right. So another thing that I think we should do is we should make it so that make sure test users automatically match with or send likes to whoever they are in a call with. So what I'm thinking is that we want the Apple reviewers to be able to test everything out. So we want to show them what it's like when you match with a user, for instance. And one way that we can do that, because we're going to have passive users that are going to pretend or act active, if that makes sense. And the way that we can do that, I think, is by, or we do want the, what are they called, the Apple reviewers to be able to experience, we want the Apple reviewers to be able to experience a match. And the way to do that is if the users that they are in phone calls with, or if the test users always send a like out to whoever they are in a phone call with, it means that when the reviewers open up the app and get into a phone call with a test user, and the reviewers press the like button to test that, then they will get the pop-up of like, oh, it's a match. So I think that's a good idea to just make sure that they can see what it's like to have matches and to just to see that, if that makes sense. And I think that's something that we're gonna work on in the next video. And then hopefully we'll have a response from the team. It said that it would take like 1 business day for them to respond. I don't believe that they've responded yet. I'm gonna check. Yeah, no response as of right now. So we're gonna I just saw a name where I'm like, why test this? Oh, anyway, that's what we're gonna do in the next video. We're gonna set up the auto like thing for test users so that we make sure that we actually have, or that the Apple reviewers can try out the match feature as well. But I'm really happy with the the match screen that we created, and I think it does add a lot to the app, because I got a comment about that, and again, I read all the comments, and all of the comments, like or 90% of all the comments that I get are super helpful, that actually add and contribute to this project in a real way. Like that thing, I hadn't even thought about a match screen. Like I just thought about like, oh, they need to be able to match, but I didn't think about the fact that like when you do match with someone, you want some sort of celebration or some obvious way of seeing it. For me, it was like the snack bar was like enough. And looking at what we created today, it's like night and day from a like little green snack bar that shows up as like, oh, it's a match. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm also, again, like I said, so impressed with Claude and the ability to just create that match screen from, if it was like a 8-word sentence that I sent to it, which was just like create a industry standard aesthetic match screen. I didn't say that it should use profile pictures of the users. I didn't say how it should look, that it should use the color theme of the app. I didn't say anything of that, but it still just did all of it. And honestly, I don't know how it did the heart animation, because it's like there's hearts like floating up on the screen. I don't know how it did that. And for me to do that, because I'm like, there's no way that there's just an animation like that. I don't think. I feel like it would have created that animation. If I go look at the code. Also, there's a link to my GitHub repository for this whole project. So if you want to like have a look at it, you can always go to my GitHub and just check it out. And you can literally read through it if you want to. But I'm gonna assume that it actually created an animation of all these hearts, which is just insane. And even if it didn't, just the fact that it figured that out and made it look like it was so, to me, aesthetically pleasing. Again, I have the seed of doubt in my mind that's like, well, if you think it's aesthetically pleasing, Cal, you are the same person who thought that, where is it? That this is aesthetically pleasing too. So is my opinion that it was aesthetically pleasing, is that really a sign that it wasn't? I don't think it is though, but because I think I've gotten better, even though I'm not great at it, I've gotten way better since this point at like UX and UI design. So I do know some things, and I'm pretty sure that that was a good match screen. I'm very happy with it, at least. But yeah, I'm back. I'm going to try to be consistent even if I have nothing to do. Even if the video takes 10 minutes to do, I'm going to make sure that I'm consistent. Because, yeah, I think the consistency is way more important than the result of what I do in the day, if that makes sense. The consistency is what's going to lead to it. So I'm back, and I'm going to continue doing it the way that I have been for a long time. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.